He's already survived the island, and she has no idea what's ahead. Welcome to Not Penny's podcast. I'm Michael, your resident superfan and lifelong lostie, and alongside me, my co-host Rebecca, who's watching the show for the very first time. So whether you know the secrets or you're just starting the journey, you're in the right place. So let's fasten those seatbelts, make sure those tray tables are in their full upright and locked position, because this episode of Not Penny's podcast starts right now. All right, everybody, welcome to this episode of Not Penny's podcast. I am Michael, the lifelong lostie, watched the show all the way through broadcast and multiple rewatches. And alongside me, my co-host, Rebecca, who, of course, as we all know, is watching the show for the very first time. How's your week been? I think we've both had kind of crazy busy weeks.
It has been crazy busy. All I want to do is sleep. But for the next 3 days, I am firmly on no team sleep until like Sunday. So I'm hanging on by caffeine at this point. What about you?
Yeah. I work in legal. And sometimes my job is just kind of boring. Not really, I never really have boring. It's just kind of slower. But then when it ramps up, it ramps up and it ramps up fast. So I go through ebbs and flows of like crazy busy and then just kind of slow and then crazy busy and slow. It's like, and I don't use the downtime efficiently enough to prepare for the next rush. So I kind of play myself a little bit. So
The joys of adulthood.
Yep. All right. So this week we are talking about episodes 11 and 12. And if you have listened to last week's show, I do apologize. It was quite a long show. I contemplated with the idea of splitting it in half, but then I was just like, you know what? Let's just put it out there. And like, let's see how people react to the long show. And even I was like, yeah. So we'll see where we get. I still like recording two per one, like going 2 for 1 on these things. But I think there might be times where on some episodes where I'm like, in the middle, I'll be like, you know what? This should have been a single, and we can adjust that and make it a single. So there may be more single episodes than I anticipated, but that's okay. We'll still record them 2 for 1. So this week we're talking about episodes 11 and 12 from season 1. Episode 11 is All the Best Cowboys Have Daddy Issues. That's such a good name for an episode. And that is a Jack-centric episode, but also kind of a Charlie-centric episode. And then episode 12,
Yeah, I
whatever the
would say
case
so.
may be, which maybe this is just my opinion, but I felt like whatever the case may be was kind of the first time in the series that we were just like, oh, so this was a filler episode. Like, there wasn't a lot in episode 12. So I feel like that was the first time that we were like, oh, okay, not every episode's going to be high intensity, lots going on, lots getting revealed, lots happening. You got to slow down. You got to pace. So you got to slow down sometimes. And I feel like episode 12 is the first time that we kind of tapped the brakes in season 1, because it's kind of been go, 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 go up till now. And so I feel like episode 12 was like, okay, we need to take a breath before we ramp up for the second half of this season.
Yeah.
Because we are about exactly halfway through the first season right now. So
Wow.
I know we're making good time. We're getting there. And season 1, I think, is one of the longer seasons. Maybe 2 and 3 maybe are about equal. But starting with season 4, they drop from like 22, 23 episodes to like 16. They drop like they almost get cut in half. That was a Damon and Carlton thing. Long story short, essentially, they wanted an end date. They went to the network multiple times and said, hey, we need an end date because this show can't go on forever. It's not Cheers. We can't do 12 seasons and just keep replacing actors. Eventually, we got to have a resolution. So ABC fought them. They were like, no, keep the show going. We want it to go forever. And finally, around season 4, I think, they gave them their end date. And from that, and they even negotiated it down to how many episodes would be in each season. They were like, we will do 2 more seasons with X amount of episodes each, and then we are done. And ABC was just like, okay, like, let's do it. And that's exactly what happened. So season 4 is short because of the writer's strike. the big writer strike that happened in like 2000, like 6, 7, 8, something like that. The one that was like the really long
The one
that
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 spawned
affected
the one that spawned, like, Doctor Horrible sing-along blog with NDAs.
yes,
Okay, I remember that
yes,
one.
yes,
Okay.
yes. That writer strike. It was the writer strike that was brought on by essentially like writers are paid for episodes for writing, being in the writer's room and doing their jobs. Coming to work, clocking in, doing their work job, clocking out, going home. They get paid for that. But you got to think, see, around 2000, mid 2000s or those early, 2000s, that's when we see the rise of DVD. And then we see the competition between Blu-ray and HD DVD. Do you even remember HD DVD?
I do. I was working at Target at the time when both of those came out, and a friend of mine went all in on HD DVD with like getting the expansion for his Xbox and stuff. And I kind of roasted him for it a little bit. I'm like, bro, like, what are you even doing? Like, that's kind of really dumb. I equated it to Betamax, where, okay, yeah, it's superior of the two, but like, it's not viable. And I was like a baby, but I don't know. I did
I
not
don't remember. I
I
don't
don't
think I've ever seen anything on HD DVD, so I'm not real sure.
well, like 3 to 4 months later, HD DVD already lost the battle.
It was, yeah. It wasn't like an Xbox, PlayStation thing where like you just buy the one that you prefer or iPhone versus Samsung, and you buy what you like and you just hate on each other for liking the other. It's not like that. Like it was somebody's got to go, and
Exactly.
Blu-ray won. But the writer strike was brought on because writers were never given writing on how they would be paid on home video releases. There was no there was nothing in the place there. And the reason the networks gave them was, well, we didn't really think that this would be a thing. And their stance was, you wrote the episode. Why should we pay you for it being on a plastic disc? And the writers were like,
I mean,
yeah, I'm sorry, bro. You don't have
technically, what got them there would be no plastic disc.
right. So the writers went on strike and eventually they got a deal and they came back. But by that time, everybody's seasons got cut short. I think there were entire shows that got canned, like shows that were supposed to premiere and debut that never did because there was like, well, we didn't get to write the pilot and we're in the middle of pilot season and we're not even close to ready. So sorry, guys, maybe next year. Or they just didn't do anything with them. So that caused season 4 to be short, and then season 5 and 6 are short because of the deal that Damon and Carlton made with the network to get their end date. So as we get there, you'll notice it ramps up, it gets quick. So, but let's dial it back to season 1 and talk about all the best Cowboys have daddy issues. Again, this is a Jack episode, and this is kind of given the title, this is the episode where we really start to see the tension and the problems between Jack and his dad.
And boy, are there
Boy, are
problems.
there. I mean, he really does have daddy issues.
He does. He does.
So, like I
Ugh.
said, I think it's always easiest to go through your notes and then I just kind of chime in. So,
Okay. I tried to rein myself in on how many notes I took this time too. I was like, I was getting a little obsessive with this.
yeah.
So we open last episode was the cliffhanger with all names but one were on the manifest. And of course it is our boy Ethan Rom. Confirmed, not on the plane.
And he just looks creepy. Why is he always wet?
It does. I
Why
I
is
don't
he
know.
always
I don't
wet?
like
Does
it.
it rain that much?
Uh, does he live in the waterfall from the next episode? I don't know.
No.
Um,
He's pretty much been living in the camp playing Castaway.
yeah. So of
Wasn't
course
on the
Jack
plane. Like,
he wasn't on the plane, and Jack is freaking out because now the mission is find Charlie and Claire. Because Claire was on her way back to the beach. Charlie chased after her, and chaos ensued. Oh no, we find Claire's duffel bag. It's been abandoned. No Charlie, no Claire. But we do have a lock. who is coming in clutch yet again with his tracking skills.
Yeah.
He
It's
notices
honestly, Locke becomes like the most efficient person on this
I
island.
love him.
He really
I
does.
love him so much. I am not ready for when he inevitably makes whatever heel turn he's going to make. He's my guy. Like
You just used a wrestling term, and I got that. Locke's turning heel. I love it.
he can't be a face forever, okay?
Stop. And you really, like, can't go falling in love with you.
Okay. Anyway, Jack, of course, is yelling like a madman about how like we're wasting time. We need to find Charlie and Claire. Like there's not a lot of time. We need to go find her. He's all but running off into the woods. And Locke is just like, you got to be quiet. Like shut your mouth. Like
Is that
yes.
creepy Locke with the
Finger
finger?
over his mouth. Yes.
So creepy.
I'll kill you. Yeah. Which like have we not learned by now that we need to trust Locke more? Like with all of the stuff this man has done, they're still not trusting him when he's like, "You gotta shut your mouth and listen to me." Like, come on. Jack is having none of it. He's like, he wants to know how Ethan Rom can drag off 2.5 people alone, and Locke is like, "It's not. It's not like how. It's why. Why would he do this?"
Yeah.
And
And where did he take them?
where did he take them? And Locke is clearly now in this stage where he's not trusting quote unquote their people. Because he's like, who's to say that they're even our people that are doing this? Like, how can you keep track? Which makes sense because in the chaos of a plane crash, it's very easy for somebody to slip in and be like, yeah, no, I was totally here the whole time. I was in 34F. Like,
Been here the whole time, guys.
I'm a survivor with you guys. Yeah. Yeah. Like, nobody's really taking stock of who they're sitting 3 aisles, like 3 rows back from on a plane, especially in an emergency situation. And the audience doesn't know my theories on logic going out the window in chaotic situations, but you know it all too well, and we do not have time for that. Um,
No.
so Locke is like, listen, we need to organize, we need to get search parties together and really get all of our chess pieces in place before we go gallivanting off in the woods to find
They
Charlie
don't
and Claire.
if they don't find them soon, they may not find them.
Right. And Jack is just like, no, like he is panicking, but there is no disco. Like he's panicking in the jungle. He's like, no, like we're wasting time. We have to go. We have to move. I wanted to hit him so much this episode with all of his just panic moments. I'm like, dude, how have you survived this long? If once one thing goes awry and you're just like threat level midnight over here.
That's how Jack kind of lives at threat level midnight.
I'm noticing this because as soon as all of this starts happening, we get our first Jack flashback of the episode, and he's in a very dark, tense emergency surgery room. There's a patient on the table. They've got the crash cart. He's doing everything he can to bring her back. His dad is in the background looking all ominous in the shadows, clearly very angry. And he's like, you have to call it. You have to call it. And Jack's like, no, I'm not calling it. I'm not calling it. You call it. And ultimately, they lose the patient. Yeah. Jack is not handling this well
No.
at all. No.
Jack is obsessed with
Yes.
with being being the rescue, being the it's I call it the white savior complex. But he just he doesn't give up. Like he refuses to take defeat as an answer. So he just like it's in an obsessive level that it's not healthy for him. As in this patient is coding in surgery. By the time that Christian starts screaming at him to call it, any other doctor would have called it already. So there's times where Jack gets like this, and you're like, okay, dude. There's times when you're like, okay, yeah, no, don't give up, man. Keep fighting, keep going. And then there's times where you're like, okay, you can stop anytime you're ready. And that was one of those.
Yeah, definitely, and he was just not having it, and both he and his dad are already at each other's throats, blaming each other for the loss of this patient.
Yeah.
But we can't get too into that because we have to go back into real time, like current time
Where
on the island.
was it with the last Jack episode we had? They spent more
Mhm.
time in the flashbacks, where this one spends way more time on the island.
Right, but these flashbacks definitely gave me a lot more insight than the previous ones.
Yep.
But I think it's because now I know the literary vision of what the flashbacks in this episode are doing. I'm like, okay, this is setting Jack up for why he's obsessive over Claire. This is also setting up Jack for potentially how Christian even ended up on the island to begin with. Not the island, Australia. Like it's a whole thing. Like I
Oh, he's
see
still
you.
on
I
the
see what you're doing. That one too. I mean, he's there in some form.
I mean, because we have not been, it has not been disproven that the island brought him back to life.
This is very true.
I'm just saying.
I know that this
You will
magical
find
island.
very quickly with Lost. Trust me, you could have 47 ideas of where you think this is going, and it'll be number 48 that you never thought of. That's the one they went with. So that's the idea. When you get logic and you get theories, think like what you have and then throw that away and think of the wildest thing because that might actually be closer to home.
Too real. Locke is back at the camp. He's getting his supplies, he's getting his team, and Kate is reading him the riot act about letting Jack go alone. And Locke is sort of just like, I tried telling him Jack is gonna Jack. Boone wants to join the search party. Shannon is giving him a hard time. I don't know why. Like Shannon's just being Shannon about it.
Yeah.
For some reason, she doesn't want to help,
Why?
but then she gets mad when other people want to. Yeah, so whiny. Michael, I want to like Michael, but sometimes his stubbornness is too much like my own stubbornness. And I'm like,
Mm,
bro, you need to just chill because Walt wants to help and bring Vincent because he's like, well, maybe Vincent can track him. Very cute, highly illogical, but like the kid wants to help and be useful.
right.
And I love that. But then we have Michael being sarcastic about like, well, maybe I'll make my own search party, a bigger, better search party.
I know.
what what
I
did
feel
he
like
expect to achieve from that?
I feel like Michael has this complex where he feels like he's never the leader, but he always wants to be. Like he always feels like he knows what's best and no one's ever listening to him. So I always feel like Michael lives in this kind of this layer of like frustration and almost a little bit of resentfulness because people aren't listening to his ideas. And that's how I always kind of felt about Michael.
That makes sense. I mean, like even Walt later, I think it's this episode where Walt is talking to Hurley and he's just like, oh yeah, like my other dad, Brian. So I can see how there might be some frustration or inadequacy things going on. But Locke thinks two search parties is a great idea. So he's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm going north. You go south. And Michael's just like, damn it. This is not what I wanted to do today. That was a
But
good gotcha moment, though.
but at this point, whose approach makes more sense to you right now? Like Jack's logic or Locke's instincts?
Locke. So this man has not missed yet.
Right.
Like he's caught boars. He's done so many other things. He has trained his whole life for this, and now that he has his legs working, he is unstoppable. Like,
And what's funny is still on this island,
nobody
nobody
it's still on
knows.
the island. I know.
I was actually trying to remember. I'm like, when did people on the island find out that Locke was paralyzed? And I was like, did they ever find out?
Did they just think that that wheelchair
Did Locke
casually
just
showed up?
that quiet the entire series? And I cannot remember. I don't remember if he
You don't
ever
know.
tells anybody, I was in a wheelchair. What? Like, I don't think he tells anybody. I think he goes about his new life. Yep.
As he should.
Just trekking off to the jungle.
But more people need to listen to him, and it makes me so annoyed when they don't because, like, he is best equipped in this situation, hands down. But okay, enough about Locke and how awesome he is. Oh, Jack is honestly just being an idiot, running off into the woods. He has no tracking skills, and he's in the middle of a field. He sees a broken twig, but he sort of breaks it a little more. I'm just like, bro, you're breaking things even worse. It's sort of like when a crime happens and the police don't properly secure the scene, and everybody just goes in and walks all over the place and touches stuff and ruins it. Like, but Locke finds him. We find out he's been walking in circles anyway. So does it really matter?
Do you
But
think he might have sent
no.
Michael in the wrong direction on purpose? Like, I always felt that. I'm like, I'm going north, you go south. I'm like, you are sending that man on nothing.
Hmm.
There is no trail where that man is going.
Just giving him something to do
Locke's just
to
like,
get
get
him out of
further away
your
from
no hair.
me.
Exactly.
Let me do this and you get further away.
So we exactly. So we're in our next flashback. Christian is laying into Jack about coming into his OR to do the procedure that he's already started, and they're fighting over who should have or shouldn't have done the surgery. Jack is throwing it right back at his dad about, like, one of the nurses called him and told him that Christian's hands were shaking really, really bad. And because, surprise, surprise, Christian was probably drinking during lunch. Drinking on the job.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So I think this is where I first started thinking. We know that Christian depends on the alcohol a little bit too much. Clearly, Jack is not happy with this. Is this like the catalyst event for how Christian starts his occasional, I'm going to run off for a couple of days, come after me. Oh no, I'm in Australia. Locke finds Jack. He's trying to get Jack to go back to caves. Jack's like, no, I'm not doing it. But Locke is also feeling guilty about this Ethan situation because he hunted with Ethan. He did some tracking with Ethan. He never suspected that anything was off with Ethan. I'm guessing that Locke never witnessed that man weave a basket so expertly. Like,
Yeah. I'm like, how could you not? Like, the first time I saw Ethan, I was like, mm-mm, something ain't
yourself.
right.
Yeah, no, that point, right?
Why are you wet?
Exactly. So so as Michael is getting his bigger, better search party ready to head south, he's ranting to Hurley, and Walt is having none of it. He's like, "You need to listen to Mr. Locke. Mr. Locke knows what's going on. Like, he's got knives. He's got the suitcase full of knives."
The knives.
Like,
Only reason we're killing boar around here is because Mr. Locke's got the knives. That's it.
exactly. Exactly. But we can't get into Michael and his search party too much. There's so much jumping around in this episode because we are back to Jack acting like a kid on a long road trip with his "Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Have we found Claire? Do we know where she is? Are you on her trail? What are you doing?" type of thing. Like, he's me when I'm 6 on a car trip. Like, but we find one of Charlie's mysterious finger knuckle bandage letters.
Yes.
Yes, I don't I they said, like,
It
I
says
don't
love and
know what
it
they
said, I
said.
believe they say love and hate.
Was it like love and hate?
I think it's love on one hand and hate on the other.
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. It was like a little too Rocky Horror Picture Show that I wasn't sure
Well,
that's what it.
so one reference is it is in a movie called The Night of the Hunter, which I've actually seen. The antagonist in that has it written on his knuckles.
Okay.
But I thought there was also another singer, and I don't know why, but yeah. That's
I don't know.
actually to watch Night of the Hunter like a few weeks ago, and when I saw the tattoos, I was like, oh, he's got like like that Charlie thing going on. And
The
then
Charlie tattoos.
obviously Meatloaf's character in Rocky Horror Picture Show has the same tattoos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the only thing I really
But of course, Charlie's are not
sought
tattoos.
out
They're written on the pieces of tape.
on the bandage tape or whatever. So that leads to a debate of, okay, Charlie's leaving us clues. Do we follow Charlie's clues, or do we follow this other trail that is a defined trail? Is Ethan purposely throwing off the group by creating a distraction trail?
Right.
Very valid question. There's really only one way to find out. And Jack and Kate split from Boone and Locke like they are Mystery Incorporated, and Scooby and Shaggy are separated from Daphne and Fred. So that's where we are with the search party. Saeed comes back. Saeed's been back, but Walt tells Sawyer promptly after telling him that it's stupid to lie about your name that
That's
Saeed is back.
stupid to lie about your name. I love Walt. Like Walt's so sassy. There is a scene later on in season one where everybody's pitching in to like do stuff on the island around the camp, and Sawyer's like reading a book, and
Mhm.
Walt's like, "Why aren't you helping? Everybody else is helping." And Sawyer just looks at him without missing a beat or taking a breath. Just goes, "I am helping short round." I was like, that's probably one of my favorite like Sawyer nickname moments because it just comes out of nowhere. Like he's been sitting on that for so long. He's been waiting to call
He's
that
just
kid
been
short
waiting.
round. Like he's been waiting. And it's like, I am helping short round. Like it's for those of you not in the know, short round is the little kid from Temple of Doom,
Yes.
who's now an Oscar winner, by the way.
I know. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Like he's come a long way from Indiana Jones and the Goonies.
Yeah.
Like,
That he is in the Goonies.
he is in the Goonies.
Damn, man, 16 candles. Right? He's what's happening hot stuff in 16 Candles.
I don't think so.
Is that him?
Hold on, I'm Googling. I'm Googling. Goonies, Indiana Jones, Utopia, Encino Man.
God, I haven't seen Casino Man in forever.
Neither have I. No.
Hmm.
I think the guy from 16 Candles was a little bit older.
Okay. Well,
Still,
for all these years, I have thought that that was Short Round from Indiana Jones.
it happens. I confuse actors all the time,
Yep.
and
Yep.
it happens. It-
All right.
yeah.
So
Okay.
we're splitting up. Daphne is that's such a good reference. Like Daphne and Fred are going off over here, and Scooby and Shaggy are going over here. And that is such a good that's such a good way to call it because as we'll get to in episode 12, Locke and Boone kind of like team up. They kind of
Yeah,
become
they
buddies.
make a really good team. Yeah, I love their dynamic. And it's been a lot of fun to watch them while Jack and Kate are sort of tracking down these clues because we find out that Kate has tracking background now from hunting deer with her dad in Washington State.
Sure.
Surprise, surprise. Yeah, sure. Okay, girl. I mean, fine. Pop off.
I
Um,
think this is still
we
part of the character description in that originally, Jack was going to die in the pilot because it was going to be Michael Keaton. And
uh
I think Kate was supposed to be the like de facto leader. So I think these first half of the season, and as we kind of until we like putter away from that, there were things that they kind of wanted to do with the character and the character traits that they had to like still do in there because like Kate knowing how to track like out of the
right.
blue, that's like that's something that
Yeah.
would have been nice had she been the leader of the group. But I mean, it's helpful. It's contributing, but it's kind of an odd thing to be like, oh yeah, Kate knows how to track because she used to go deer hunting with her dad.
Meanwhile, like there was the whole boar hunting storyline a couple episodes back. Like, where was your tracking skill then?
Right.
Like,
It comes out of nowhere.
yeah, yeah. And we've got Locke and Boone very cleverly marking their path with the red shirt which Boone brings up the old school Star Trek red shirt theory.
Yep.
And I loved that. Like it gave me a little giggle.
Jorge Garcia, the actor that plays Hurley, has made
Mhm.
that same reference in the pilot script. Hurley, I think, was supposed to be wearing a red shirt, maybe, or he's like described as a red shirt, and he was like,
Mhm.
"Oh wait, like one of the guys on Star Trek? What does that mean? I'm gonna die." Because like the red shirts never made it through the missions, unless you were O'Hara.
She's the only one.
He's the only one.
Now we are back in our flashback. It is flashback time because Christian has typed up his full report of the medical incident, and he's trying to get Jack to sign off on it. He's like, "Listen, the husband is trying to sue. We need to stick together on this. This is our story. Stick to it. It will all go away." Christian admits that he was hard on Jack, but sort of credits that as to why Jack is the best at what he does.
Yeah.
Like, okay, that doesn't take away his
Such a
childhood
boomer
trauma.
parent thing to say.
Such a boomer.
I was only hard on you so that you'd grow up to be better at life. God.
And you're so good. You're the best in the
Yeah.
hospital at what you do. Christian promises that nothing like this will ever happen again. But this is where I start putting the pieces together. I'm like, Jack's going to report him anyway. Like, Jack is going to flip. Jack is too moral to let this just go away.
Yeah. And also there's just a lot of hatred and resentfulness against his dad. I mean, it's got
That too. Like,
there's
actions
some
have consequences.
right. And so is it more actions have consequences or well, I've got you now.
Right. What are you going to do about it? Like,
Right.
I've got the high ground, Anakin. Like,
Supposed to bring balance to the force, not
you know nothing. Um,
I hate you.
okay. So now that Sawyer knows that Saeed is back, he goes and finds him, seemingly to get some revenge, but the tone shifts almost immediately when Saeed tells him that he found the French woman. And Sawyer was like, "Wait a minute. It's like the one that's been broadcasting the signal for 16 years? Like, what do you mean? Like, what?" And
Is that the first
that's
time he
when
tells him that he found her?
yes.
Oh, by the way,
So yeah. Sawyer's getting ready to like do whatever. And Saeed's like, I found the French woman.
wait, what? Go back. What? When?
Yeah,
How
huh?
long ago?
Yeah.
Because you
Yes.
you left
And
the camp and now you're back. And I'm like, wait,
right.
how did you?
Right. And Saeed is like, listen, like I left out of shame for what I did to you. Like I shouldn't have done what I did. I feel really bad about it. Okay, fine. This is when Sawyer tells him, "Oh, well, the plane hull is almost in the water. And by the way, I kept your signal fire burning." And I'm like, oh, Sawyer actually is capable of doing somewhat decent things.
Yes,
I was pleasantly surprised by that. Like, oh,
he's not
okay.
entirely heartless.
No, not entirely, just a lot.
Oh, a lot. Yeah.
A lot, but he has his moments. Somehow Locke magically knows that it's going to start raining in about 35 seconds, and he tells Boone to, like, go home, and Boone's like, "I'm not doing it, even though the trail's gone cold," but it starts raining. How does Locke know these things? Like, he's just like, "You got 30 seconds, it's gonna start raining."
You live in Florida. You can't smell the rain.
You got me there, you can smell the rain.
You can smell the rain.
I used to be able to smell the snow too.
Yeah, same thing. It's kind of like
Same thing.
I grew up in South Georgia, which being Georgia, we got tornadoes, and
Mhm.
like my mom had like this uncanny gift of like she could walk outside and be like, "It's tornado weather." I'm like, "What?" And then sure enough, later on, be like, "Tornado warning." What? I'm like, I don't know. Some people just can do it, or they make it up, and then when they're right, they're like, "And
Gotcha.
you know, that's why you listen to me." Like I was right. Even though I was like, "You guessed and you happen to be right." That's not the same thing.
No. Okay, so Kate and Jack find another Charlie letter. And right away, mysterious noises start in the jungle. Oh no, scary noises. We're kind of used to that by now, but is it the normal scary noises or is it our boy Ethan? I don't know. But Jack, in all of his haste, because he cannot slow down, falls while climbing a vine. And then Ethan's there. Ethan's like, stop following me.
Following me.
Stop following me. Or I will kill one of you. I'm like, is this Ethan real? Or is he like passed out and imagining Ethan because he's all stressed out? I don't know. But a fight ensues and Jack gets his ass kicked. So like
Yeah. He
Jack
beats
is
his ass. Mhm.
stop following Ethan, man. You're gonna pay. You're gonna pay.
Stop following me, or I will kill one of them.
Yes. And while Jack is knocked out from getting his ass kicked, we get our very shocking twist flashback where we find out the patient was pregnant. Now it kind of makes sense as to why he's taking this Claire thing especially badly because the patient he lost on the table was pregnant and now he's got this chance to like
And it's not going to happen again. Because Jack is very
yeah,
much one of
no,
those people that, like, when those bad things happen in his life, like he loses a patient that's pregnant on the table, then he's like, I vow that will never happen on my watch again. And because he said that and because he's Jack, now a pregnant woman is in trouble. So Jack has to save her because he told
yes.
himself and he vowed that he would never let that happen again.
By Grabthar's hammer, she will be avenged.
Yes.
Yes. Like
Yes.
so So Jack, just as I knew he would, rats his dad out right there in front of the board at that meeting. And he's just like, mic drop. What now? You were getting on the
Seemingly,
job.
yeah, seemingly that's the end of Christian's career.
Yeah,
Like,
how can you come back from that?
now you're not just fired, you lose your license. You
Oh,
probably
right.
get sued for malpractice. Like,
It's amazing that he still had a nice house to live in
the
after all.
next thing he should have been doing was talking to a med mal lawyer.
Yeah.
You're like, I
Yeah.
fucked up. Yeah, you did.
You fucked up hardcore, man. You can't be having martinis at lunch when you're like working. You're on call.
Yeah.
So Kate gets Jack back up. She's like, you fell. Like, what the hell happened? And they find Charlie hanging from a tree. It's looking pretty bad.
This is
My heart fell
you
out of my
texted
stomach.
me.
Yes.
Yeah, you texted me while you were watching, and you were like, "I damn near rage quit," and I was like, "Wait, why?" And then you told me why, and I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah. Let me. I will read directly verbatim from my notes for this
Oh
one.
boy, here, let's earn that explicit, tag on this episode.
I managed to hold it together in regards to that. Okay. But all caps, Charlie hanging from a tree? Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. No, 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 no. Drive Shaft was going to get back together. I'm mad at the show now.
I was like, "Here it is, 11 episodes, folks, 11 episodes for Rebecca to get her first. Fuck this show."
Fuck this show. So they're struggling. Jack is beating his chest like you gotta breathe, Charlie. You gotta breathe. I'm yelling at him, you gotta breathe, Charlie, you gotta breathe. Kate is like, Jack, you need to stop. You need to let it go. But Jack's not gonna let it go. He wouldn't listen to his dad. Why is he gonna listen to you, Kate? Shut up, Kate. Because Charlie took a breath. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, okay. I was so close to rage quitting. You didn't even know.
I wanna know what type of padding they had on Dominic Monaghan under his shirt, because
Yeah.
Matthew Fox was beating the shit out of his chest. I mean, he was
He
hitting
was
him
brutal.
hard. And I was
He
like,
was. Like that.
he has to have a very good pad under that shirt because he's hitting him hard enough to, like, at least bruise his sternum.
Yeah.
Like, he
Yeah.
is pounding to save his life.
And at this point, I'm also just we are so lucky that Charlie doesn't have his drugs anymore because after losing Claire, he would be so high right now if he
Oh
still
my
had one.
god, yeah.
So like,
This is Charlie goes off and ODs somewhere type
yeah. So Charlie says he didn't see or hear anything. He can't remember what happened. All they wanted was Claire. That's what he says. He's just like, all they wanted was Claire. And then he just goes silent. Back with the other half of Mystery Incorporated, Boone decides, okay, you know what, Locke, I will go. It's getting dark. Go. Locke tosses the flashlight. Boone does not catch it. Instead, it hits something metal. What could they have found? I'm like, is this Danielle's hideout or is this something else?
No, because we never did see kind of where Danielle's hideout was or like kind of the outsides of it. We only saw the inside of it.
Right. Like we saw that it was a hatch that she lifted up and she would come
Yeah.
out of. Like that's it.
I mean, but you
We
would
don't
know.
know the
You would
finer
know the
details.
ground of some type.
Yeah. And that's where that episode ends is what did they find? What did Scooby and Shaggy find?
I mean, I know it literally just happened, but yeah, we find a very big piece of metal in the ground randomly on the island. No idea what it is.
No idea what it is, no idea what it does. Boone asks if it's part of the hall. Locke is like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But now they have a
Exactly. They think it's part
mission.
of the plan.
Yeah. And that's the end of episode 11.
That is the end of episode 11 right there. That is the end of episode 11. All the best Cowboys have daddy issues. Let me look at my questions here and see if there's anything we didn't really go over.
Okay.
Yeah, we pretty much what I had, we got through it. So that that was good. This is there's a lot that happens in this episode. It is a very stuffed episode with
Yeah, it's dense.
it's pretty much stays on the island because that's where the crisis is. But we have to do the flashbacks because everything in these flashbacks is just as important as the on island. They do work hand in hand. They're right hand and left hand, they go together. So it's fun to see these episodes where they switch. Is it more heavy on the flashback or more heavy on the island? Whereas the last Jack was more heavy on the flashbacks. This one's more heavy on the island because, well, we're dealing with the idea that Charlie and Claire have been abducted by the one guy that wasn't on the plane. So I guess in closing for this part of this episode, what what do you think Ethan's thing is? Did he possibly like a sailing thing where he crashed on the island and he's just kind of been doing kind of like what Danielle's been doing, where he's just kind of been living on his own? And then he just like finds the other castaways and he's like, well, I can essentially get in this group and definitely have a better life on this island. Or what do you think is
Um,
where did Ethan come from?
that is a very good question.
Because you have to
Unfortunately for
remember,
me,
never
yeah,
forget that Danielle kept telling Saeed,
there are
"Oh,
others.
there are others." And she's
There are
like, "There are
whisperers.
others." They whispered. I'm like, "Wait, others?" Like, so is Ethan possibly like part of these mysterious others that we don't have an idea about?
Right now, that's kind of where I'm leaning towards because he's not in with Danielle. Danielle clearly hasn't seen another
Right.
person since she did away with her kid and her husband or whoever. So he's not with Danielle, but it's a very high likelihood, as of right now, with the information we've got, that he is part of the whispering crew. But he doesn't whisper, but he was able to go in and out almost as if he were a whisper because of how, like, stealthy and quiet he was.
Right. So episode 12, whatever the case may be, this is a Kate-centric episode, um, where we find out a little bit more about Kate's backstory, but nothing about what it was that got Kate in the custody of a marshal. It's more Kate without touching on the biggest thing that we want to know about Kate. We still don't know what Kate did, but we do see that Kate doesn't have the best past.
No, no, she doesn't. She does not. Um, Where do we want to start with this episode?
I mean, I think we can jump pretty much because, like I said, this was one of the
Okay.
first episodes that people I think felt was a filler episode that was just like, well, we got to
Yeah,
put
it was
something
kind
on
of a
this week.
nothing burger.
We got
Yeah,
to
it's
put
kind of a
something on this
nothing
week,
burger.
right? Not every episode is going to be a banger.
Yeah.
That is very
So
true coming later seasons. So
wonderful.
there's some
Okay, so we're gonna
there's maybe 3 or 4 that are like, oh god, that was painful. Everything else is like
okay.
tolerable to good.
Okay. All right, so let's speed run these notes a little
Just
bit.
rough.
Kate is picking fruit in the tree. She hears mysterious noises. It's Sawyer. Sawyer is being a creeper because, of course, he is. They find a waterfall, and of course, because it's Kate, they find a waterfall, and of course, Sawyer is so eager to take his shirt off and go swimming because he's with Kate. Of course, of course. So they're swimming, they're flirting a little bit. It's disgusting. They find bodies strapped in seats. What? What? They're looking kind of gross. They're looking kind of nasty. Sawyer's like, you know what? I'm going to loot these bodies. It's awesome. Kate spots a briefcase underneath the seat. What's in the briefcase? I don't know. I don't know. But she cons the con man into getting the briefcase out for her. He's like, "Is this yours?" "Yeah, yeah, it's totally mine." "Where's the key then?" "Oh, it's actually not that important. You can take it." So he takes a suitcase, and the whole episode is him trying to open the suitcase by any means necessary. Kate's trying to get it back. It's very spy versus spy with like
Slamming it against
getting
those
the
rocks.
briefcase.
He's so
Yes.
like it's such a like it's almost like a Laurel and Hardy sketch where it's just like Sawyer's like throwing the briefcase up in the air, thinking it'll break when it lands, throwing it off cliffs.
I love the fact that he like climbed up the Brachiosaurus Jurassic Park tree and like climbed up there to drop it down to try to open it.
Because that's what Kate just walks up and picks it up. Like, thanks.
Yes. She's like, thanks.
Hey, hey. He's such an idiot.
Yeah.
That you're
So
such a man.
wow. Such a dumb, stupid boy. So while this is going on, the beach people are rushing to get the suitcases out of the water because the beach is eroding. Everything's washing away. They need to move to higher ground. Jack is like, guys, come to the caves. And he wants Saeed to take him to Danielle. Saeed's like, nah, man, I'm not doing that. Like,
And I know,
mm.
I remember watching this one, getting ready to record. Somebody on the beach points out that the tide change is very irregular.
Yes.
I think it's Saeed.
Hmm.
Somebody says it, like as they're getting all the luggage out of the ocean. They're like, the tide changing here is very out of the ordinary.
Yeah. It's almost like the island is trying to force them further inland.
Yes, and it's more like
Yeah.
this is again like this island. There's something happening. Like, where are we?
But we still,
Because
yeah. Where are we? We don't know.
the tides are changing rapidly.
Yes. Boone is trying to head off with Locke because, they're on their little mission from last episode. Shannon is very suspicious. She's like, why are you going off with your boyfriend? Like, is that your boyfriend now? She's very jealous of this dynamic for some reason. And Boone is just like, I'm trying to contribute. And you're just too busy being useless. And the way he finally told her and the stunned look on her face, I was just like, yes. Tell her like it is.
Yeah,
Tell her like it is.
Moon's kind of getting tired of saying Shannon shit.
Well, I mean, this is probably the longest they've actually spent together, and who knows how long, considering she lived in France for a while. Boone was doing Boone stuff.
Yep.
So, like, yeah, the struggle is real. Meanwhile, we get our first Kate flashback where she is in New Mexico applying for a bank loan, and suddenly there's a bank robbery. And my first question is she a part of this?
Which ultimately,
Yes. Yes, she's the ringleader of this bank
he's
robbery.
practically the leader of the damn thing. She's hoodwinked all of these guys into this bank robbery. Like she is in control and she is not doing anything. Like,
It's kind of amazing to watch. Like, she's almost giving the con man a run for his money with how good that she conned these guys.
yeah. Like when you really look at like, Kate and Sawyer, like, who's the worst con man? who's the bigger con man here?
Yeah,
Because like
yeah,
Kate clearly knows how to manipulate people. Kate
she
clearly
does.
knows how to get what she needs out of people by manipulating them and using them however she needs. What Sawyer do? Sawyer does the same thing. He just builds trust with people before he ultimately betrays them and
Right.
steals all their money or whatever. So it's like their parallels are not very far off.
No, they're not. But for as cunning and as good as she is at this, she's also kind of a dumbass because there's the scene where Sawyer is sleeping with the briefcase in between his knees. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to sneak in and take that. And that is the most obvious trap I have ever seen in my whole entire life. And it's like, if you can't see that he's pretending, you're dumber than I thought, Kate. Like, girl, what in the world? Are you just trying to get him to flirt with you and pin you down at this point? Like, what is going on here?
Right. Girl, Kate's the biggest brat. Be like, I'm gonna tease this boy till he does what I want.
Exactly.
And they
Exactly.
all fall for it.
Yeah,
She gets
yeah, they do.
any man on that island.
And I'm sure she will and
Outside of
has and
maybe
does.
Locke. I think Locke would be the first one. They'd be like, no.
Eh,
Everybody else be like, okay.
right.
And Locke's like, no. Like Locke's the Gen X of the. It's
He really is. He's like, nah, I drank from the hose and I'm a latchkey kid.
like he's an
I love
owner
this.
Gen X. Like he's so
He
close
is.
to Boomer. Like
Yes.
he's so Gen X. He doesn't want to deal with anybody's shit.
No. So at some point, Saeed asks Shannon, who is busy tanning on the beach in the most gratuitous way I've ever seen, for help with translating the French notations on the math equations.
Shannon's tanning on the beach is her action figure from the McFarlane line.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It's just her like,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Of course. Of course. Um, we see Rose again. I know last week I was like, "Where's Rose? I miss Rose."
I feel like we
She's
haven't seen Rose in a while.
since yeah, it's been like since the pilot, I think, or
It's almost like
whatever it was.
they were trying to decide, okay, how many of these people are going to become real characters? And during that time, they were like, well, until we figure that out, we don't need them here because there's no sense in paying them to be on set and
Right.
booking them for the whole day. But now you're going to start seeing characters that you haven't seen in a few episodes come back, and eventually you're going to see characters you've never seen at all, and they're just like they've been there the whole time. Like, no, you haven't, but okay,
Sure, we'll
because
just run with it.
they kind of thin out the background and
Uh-huh.
fill in the kind of like minor like B player, like
Gotcha.
they're not gonna get flashbacks, but they're gonna have plot
Mhm.
points on the island.
Okay. Okay. So she spots Charlie. Charlie is clearly very mopey from last episode with Claire. He misses her. He's worried about her. He's blaming himself. Rose is trying to distract him as best as she can, from what I gather, because she's just like, "Oh, you think you're the only one on this island that got something to be sad about? Like, we're all sad here. You should help us move stuff. Like, it'll distract you." She's got a point. Lend a hand, Charlie. You'll feel better. Sitting there moping is only going to make things worse.
Right.
Since his boy Locke is busy with Boone, he does need another pillar of strength to
Yeah.
help him through this saga. And I love that they have Rose do that.
Rose is so funny. I love Rose.
I love how, despite all of these things, she's still like super optimistic that her husband is alive and he's going to come back. And I hope she's right. I hope we find out what happens to that other half of the plane. Like, if she's right, oh my god, I'm gonna be so happy just to be here, be like, "I told you, I can give my husband his ring back now, but we're not there yet. We may never get there." Um, Kate and Sawyer are still playing spy versus spy with the suitcase, and Sawyer's just like, "Listen, I don't care about what's in it. I'm more concerned with why you are so concerned about this briefcase and why it means so much to you.
Mhm.
Like, what's the deal with this, Kate? And she's not telling him. She's still trying to play it cool, and she's
You're like,
being very,
I'll give
very
it. I'll
quiet.
give it to you if you just tell me what's inside.
Yeah. And she's like, no, I can't. I mustn't. So we're back at the bank robbery. And this guy sitting next to Kate in their little hostage lineup is like, I can take that guy over there. He's kind of slow and dumb. Like, I can rush him. It's fine.
Yeah, he's not paying attention.
So he rushes him. He yells to Kate, grab the gun, shoot him, shoot him. The gun doesn't fire. And this is when the main ringleader drags her into the back office. They start making out. And I'm like, I knew it. I knew you were in on it, Kate. Like,
I just love the turn the safety off. It's on the side. I don't know how to use a gun.
I don't know how to use a gun. You're so
Gun,
good.
how to use a gun? Come on, Maggie or whatever her name is.
Right? Oh, when they did that, I was like, Maggie, what do you
Was it
mean?
Maggie?
For a second, it was Maggie. Yes. For a second, I forgot that we had that whole other subplot a few episodes back with Hurley in the manifest. I'm like, is her name really Maggie? She lies about a lot of stuff. And I'm like, no, Hurley would have caught that when he caught Ethan. Like,
Yeah.
but while she won't tell Sawyer what's in the briefcase, she tells Jack what's in the briefcase. And it's wild the things that they were saying to each other in regards to this briefcase with Sun in the background because she's there telling Jack as best as she can what plants do. Like, this plant is for a headache, this is for that. Because they don't know that she speaks English. So they're just like, oh, yeah, there's a briefcase and there's guns and ammo and all this other stuff. Yeah, no, they don't know she speaks
I thought
English.
everybody knew when she yelled at when
No,
she yells at Michael when Jen is handcuffed to the fuselage.
I don't think so because
Okay.
when she sets the plants down, Jack asks her, like, what is this for? And she's speaking in Korean to him. And he's like, I don't know. And she starts motioning to the head, like, headache
Mm.
type thing. So they think that she still can't, they still think that she can't speak English. So here that they are having this whole conversation about this briefcase with the guns and the ammo and the spending money with this whole other person that they think can't understand what they're saying. And that's just wild to me. And this is where we find out they have to dig up the marshal because the key
Yeah.
is in his wallet. It was very much a I put the diamond in the coat, I put the coat on her.
It is. Oh my god. Put the diamond in the coat. Put the coat on her.
Put it there. Put the key in the wallet's in his pocket, and he's in the ground. For some reason, he's the only body that they did not burn in the fuselage. Kate asks Jack why, and Jack's like, I don't know, I just had to bury it. Okay.
I think that might be because Jack he wasn't ready to admit defeat with the marshal.
It
Like
might be that.
I think the giving the marshal a burial, I think was part of Jack saying, I couldn't save you, but I can at least like respect you in death. I think
Right,
that's why the
exactly,
marshal is the
because
only one they bury and they burn everybody else.
right, because in Jack logic, he didn't treat any of the bodies in the fuselage like they were cooked the second that plane crashed. But the marshal, he had an opportunity to try to save him and he couldn't save him. So there's the whole morality and the guilt behind
It's closure.
the marshal. Yeah.
It's Jack's closure to losing the marshal as a patient. With even though Sawyer shot him and he eventually dies, but Jack couldn't save him. So I feel like this is closure of Jack not being able to save him and Jack just finally getting that sense of I couldn't save you, but I can at least do this. And I'll be able to forgive myself because you can't forgive me.
So Jack is like, yeah, I'll help you dig up his body, but we have to open the briefcase together. We'll see how we'll see how that one works out because we're finding out that Kate is a lot more shifty of a person than we had initially thought. So that's fun. Shannon, to her credit, is trying to work on these notations, but she's saying they don't make any sense. They're just repeating. They don't equate to what the equations are about. Like the notations that the French woman wrote are just jibber jabber, but they sound familiar to her. Saeed's like, "What are you talking about? That's kind of silly and ridiculous," and sort of brushes it off. They have the key. They go to get the briefcase from Jack. Sawyer's like, "I'm not doing that, man." And this is the one and only time so far where Jack insinuates that he will break his beloved Hippocratic oath. He's like, "Listen, you're going to give me that briefcase, or I'm going to stop giving you your antibiotics. And you'll think you'll be fine now. But, your hand is going to start burning, organ failure. You're going to die."
See, in 3 days, you'll be begging me to cut your arm off.
Exactly. Exactly.
And you saw Sawyer's
Sawyer.
face like,
Oh,
"Why?
oh, he
Oh,
means it.
oh shit, he might
Yeah,
have to do this."
he might actually do it this time. So Sawyer gives him the briefcase, but now he seems to think that Kate is lying about something because he's basically like, "I don't know what she told you to get her to do this for you, but I wouldn't trust it," sort of a deal. Whether or not that's true or he's just trying to play some mind games with Jack, only time will tell because nothing is ever straightforward with the love triangle from hell. So now we are back in this flashback. We are in the bank vault. The bank manager is like, "Hey, can you just like let the girl go? She doesn't have anything to do with this." And who we think is the ringleader spills all of the tea and then some about what the operation is. He's just like, "This was her idea. She thought of this. She picked the bank. She chose you. I'm going to shoot you anyway." But Kate, she shot him. She shot the other guys involved, basically everybody but the bank manager, just because she wanted to get into a safety like deposit box with a little green envelope inside. And you're just like, "Oh, this bank robbing for this? Like you couldn't have just walked in and said, 'Hey man, please, box 632 or whatever.'" Like, come
Right. It's like
on.
she had the key.
Yeah. Like,
Like,
why did you go through all of
but I
this?
guess her name's
You
not. I guess her name's not on the box. So it's like I worked as a bank teller, like right out of high school. And if I remember correctly, with
Mhm.
like safety deposit box, it has a name on it. There are two keys. The bank has one, and you have one. You have to have both keys to open the box. They're gonna check the names on it before they ever take you back there, because essentially they're taking you back to the vault. And so yeah, I mean, she may not have gotten through the security check of that. So that was the reason for the very elaborate bank robbery.
So elaborate. No, so elaborate. So we get the glimpse of the envelope. I skipped over the part where she tried to act like there wasn't the key when they opened up the wallet, and she did a little sleight of hand, and Jack was like,
That's really impressive sleight of hand.
"I can't believe I almost forgot that. It is in my notes."
Just again, can you trust Kate?
No, I'm starting to not trust Kate. No,
You really, it's
you can't.
questionable. Every time she does this, she's showing Jack more and more that you can't trust her. And it's really taking its course on their, not just relationship, but any type of partnership for survival. Like it's putting a strain on just their relationship at all.
Yeah, because he's been fairly open and honest with her this whole time, and he tries to get one or two little facts out of her, and it's like pulling teeth. She just cannot and will not do it. But at least she was telling the truth about what was in the briefcase. The money was there, the guns were there, like the ammo was there, and a little envelope that says personal effects. And inside we have the envelope from the safety deposit box. And it's a fucking airplane.
It's a little
A little,
airplane.
yeah, a little toy airplane. I'm like, seriously? And Jack is like, seriously? Like, what is this? "It belonged to the man I love. It belonged to the man I love." And I'm like, "What is it, Kate?" "It belonged to the man I killed." So dramatic.
Oh my god, yeah.
So
It belonged
dramatic.
to the man I killed, okay?
Okay. She's like
Come out of
crying,
here.
sobbing.
Yeah.
Right?
She's such a she's got that Tom Cruise crying, screaming acting just down. Like,
Yes. Yeah.
"I married the man I love. Is that what you want? Okay?" Yeah.
The beach people are finally finished moving all of the things to what however much of the beach is left. I'm convinced at this point, give it a couple more weeks and they will all be cave people because they are like right at that tree line,
Yeah.
getting pushed further and further. Like there is no beach anymore. We have our last scene with Rose and Charlie, where Charlie is still moping and Rose is talking about her husband. And she says another really great line, which is like, there's a fine line between denial and faith, and it's much better on my side. When he asks her basically, like, how can you still think that your husband is still alive after all of this? And she's like, I have faith. And I have faith for her. Like I want this ending for her so badly. And Shannon, to her credit, finally pulls through, but not in the way that Saeed would have liked because it doesn't add anything to his math equations. But she remembers what the full translation of the notations are. And I'm kind of mad about it because I do not like Finding Nemo, like at all.
That's a topic we're gonna have to get into.
Well, honestly, it's for the same reason that Shannon seems kind of annoyed by Finding Nemo, because
Okay.
she goes into her French boyfriend had the son who watched the same movie over and over again, like kids do, about the fish. And she's like, at the end, there's this song, and she starts singing the French version of Beyond the Sea, which is the end credit song in Finding Nemo.
Yes. It's the Robbie Williams
Yes,
version.
which is a good version.
It
But
is. That whole album is good. Robbie Williams has, I think may have two. That he has like these jazz, like kind of vocal standard albums. He does one of my favorite songs that he does a version of is Frank Sinatra's One for My Baby and One More for the Road. And Robbie Williams does a fantastic version of it. To the point that if I ever go to
I have to look
karaoke
that
and I
one.
want to do something jazzy with a drink in my hand, I will almost always sing the Robbie Williams version of One for My Baby, One for the Road.
Love that. Too much Finding Nemo with my youngest siblings who were like at that target age when it came out. I'm like, no, I cannot detest it. So,
I we won't
but
get
that's
into
where we end that episode.
funny enough, speaking of Finding Nemo, I've made it shockingly far into the auditions to play Marlin in the show at Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, I have never seen that show at Animal
What?
Kingdoms. Okay, listen, I am the world's worst Disney pass holder because there are so many things there that I have not done.
I was gonna
And I
end
will
this
detest.
episode, but now I'm just gonna make you confess to your dirty Disney AP sins on air so everyone can hear them and not give a shit. You've never, well, now they've changed it. It used to be like Finding Nemo
Mhm,
live on stage or something like that. And essentially it was just an abbreviated version of the movie.
mhm.
But it's so cool. Like the guy that sings Crush that comes riding out on this giant turtle, like this giant turtle puppet.
Okay, that's cool.
And then
That's cool.
Like Bruce and the Sharks are all like guys with the puppets, and like Marlin and like Nemo and Dory are all like they're two-handed puppets, but they're triggered. They're like it's almost like like triggers.
Like the dinosaur claw thingies.
Yes. It's like that,
Okay.
one in the front, one in the back, because that way it can move it's got different pulls, so it can blink its eyes and like move its mouth. And then
That's cool.
the back one moves its tail. So that they can like
That's cool. I'll
it's
have to
very
see it at some point.
I highly recommend. You
Okay.
have seen Festival of the Lion King.
Yeah. Your face right now. Okay, I need to preface this with I don't typically do the shows when I go to theme parks. Like I'm not usually a show person. So to like have to
I
sit and
get it.
watch
You
a
don't need
show,
I get it. You don't need air conditioning.
I just chug a lot of water and cry. I don't know. Um,
Complain about the heat.
like a true Floridian that I am not.
Yes.
Um,
Okay, we are gonna get into this.
yes.
I am
Let's
kind of
do
go
it
ahead.
today.
Our God, our I trust me. I wanted to do a Disney podcast for a while, and
Mhm.
it was just gonna be called Pass Holder, or it was just gonna be called Passholes,
Love that.
and it was just gonna
Love
be
that.
it was gonna be like is whoever I could get like APs to essentially just air their grievances about Disney and just like go off. because that's what pass holes are. Pass holes are pass holders,
It's true.
just complain about everything.
The entitlement.
Yes, those are pass holes.
Yeah.
All right, so coming up, we got episode 13, Hearts and Minds. This is our Shannon and Boone flashback.
Ooh.
I believe it is our one and only Shannon and Boone flashback. I don't think they have more. They might have one more, but they don't have a lot. And then episode 14, I will tell you now, episode 14 probably is going to be a solo. Obviously, we'll record it at the same time as 13, but I'll split them because 14 is an episode called Special. And it is our first episode focusing on Michael and Walt. And a lot goes down. A lot goes down in this episode there's a lot to unpack. So that one's going to probably end up being a solo run um episode just because there's just so much to get into in it. Um but yeah, that's episode 14 special is Michael and Walt. So that's going to be our next at least one or two episodes. We'll see how much it is on time and if we can make it happen. But thank you guys for listening. If you are listening on Spotify, please rate, review the show. Make sure you are following, even if you are listening to the show. If you go every week and you have to go to Spotify or wherever you go and you have to type in Not Penny's Podcast, go to the episodes, click the new one, then it's a lot easier if you just subscribe or follow because then the apps will tell you when the episodes are there. Plus, it actually helps get the show out to more people and we get more people listening to the show. Spotify, remember, you can also comment. So if you have thoughts, feedback, anything about the show, please leave comments. You have questions about the show, just remember, please, in comments or open public postings, please, please do not deliberately spoil the show. That's spoil the series of Lost. That's, I do ask that because you have someone here who has never seen the show, and I don't want her to find out something that could have been avoided. So.
And I've been really good about actually not actively looking for things myself,
When you told
so
me you were gonna rage quit, I was like, "Uh-oh." Like, gotta get out my first aid kit and keep you on this thing because I'm like, "I can't replace you.
I know the way you were like, "Oh my god, what happened?" I was like, "It's
Can't
just
replace you. I don't have anybody." Well, that's the show, folks. Why? Well, Rebecca quit. Why?
Charlie died and she
Because
couldn't
she
handle
thought they
it."
killed Charlie, and she just stopped watching. That was it. I was like, "Does she know that he's not dead?" Nope. Like I'm like, that's the worst part. She stopped it in the middle of the episode and just quit watching.
You need to understand she's from New Jersey. She said, "I quit and flipped a table." Like
Yeah. So I'm looking at a year. Let me roll back. I even noticed that a lot of these episodes are Damon Lindelof written episodes, like solo written, and they're always
Huh.
the episodes that Damon writes on his own are always the ones that have a ton that gets like unpacked in them. Like Tabla Rasa, that was the episode where Kate gets in Australia and
Yeah.
gets caught by the marshal. That was that one. That was a Damon solo, right? The next one he solo wrote was Confidence Man, which is all about the roots and the foundation of Sawyer. And then he solo writes. He solo writes another one coming up in like 2 or 3 episodes. I won't reveal what it is. Well,
Wow.
I won't.
Okay.
What it is. So yeah, make sure you're tuning in next week. Like I said, we're going to talk Hearts and Minds with Boone and Shannon and Special, which is Michael and Walt. And I am curious. I don't know if we have anybody. If you are a first time viewer of Lost and you are watching the show along with us at our pace, I want to talk to you. Like I want to know your thoughts about things. I want to hear from you. So please, I will put an email address in the show notes that you can email or you can put it in Spotify or however you get word to us. I want by the time we get through this thing, I want to know that we had somebody from at least some point in the show like through it and they watched like along with us at that pace.
Right, that'd be really nice. It'd also be nice for me to know that there's somebody else going through all of this at the same time that I'm going through all of this.
You're not
I
being
need a
tortured alone.
friend. No, exactly.
Torture is more fun when you have a buddy.
Right? Come on, somebody get next to me on this emotional roller coaster. It's fun, I
It
promise.
is, it is. Yeah. But thank you guys for
Okay.
listening, and we will see you next week right here on Not Penny's podcast.